I enjoyed this fight. I really, truly enjoyed this fight. This was epic. Really, really good fight. Fabio Wardley and Frazer Clarke fight to a majority draw. Wardley retains his titles, and personally, I don't have too much of an issue with the draw. For me, I wasn't actively scoring it, but for me, I thought that Frazer Clarke just did enough to nick it. I thought he just did enough to nick it, and bear in mind, I was picking Fabio Wardley to win this fight by stoppage. I thought Clarke just ever so slightly nicked it. The point deduction Frazer Clarke suffered, I think it was in the 7th round. I'm going to quote Andy Clarke on commentary. It was a pointless punch that didn't deserve a point deduction, in my opinion. It really didn't. I understand that Steve Gray was saying he warned him, but it was a really nothing punch, in all honesty. Let's talk about this fight. Going into this fight, I was picking Fabio Wardley to win. I haven't been massively impressed with Frazer Clarke as a professional, I have to be honest with you. I've said that now in several videos. But I had the feeling going into this fight that this fight would be much closer and much more competitive than the David Adelaide fight, which I genuinely thought would be competitive. It wasn't. I just felt that the experience that Clarke had in the amateurs would stand him in good stead early on. But ultimately, the relentlessness of Fabio Wardley would end up telling. Now, early on in this fight, I kind of got what I was expecting in a way. Clarke with the better experience, he was fresh and he was able to establish the jab. A punch that was working a treat very early on, and it's a punch that Clarke really neglected as the fight went on, and he got much more sloppy with it, was the uppercut on the inside. If you look at round number 2, that's really what, because by the way, this is the second cut in 24 hours we've seen between Sebastian Fondora and now Fabio Wardley. A terrible, it's broken nose definitely, and this was bleeding profusely, much like Fondora's cut, which obviously affected him as well. This was bleeding profusely for Fabio Wardley. Primarily, I think it was started by the uppercuts that Frazer Clarke was landing. He was coming up close. He was just sneaking it up the guard, left and right uppercuts. Found the money, and for me, that was a shot that was there for him all night, and he really neglected it. I would have been, look, this is all I can say. If I was there, I would have been saying, double up on that jab, take a half step in, and just shoot that uppercut straight up. As the fight went on, he did use it, but he got way more sloppy with it, and I don't even think it was the fact that Wardley was telegraphing it or was able to see it coming. I think it was the fact that they were just very sloppy shots from Frazer Clarke as the fight went on. It was a good start to the fight for Frazer Clarke. He was able to establish the jab. He was able to land a couple of shots on Fabio Wardley. Wardley never appeared in any real trouble in this fight. Apart from the last round where he maybe was stunned a little bit, he never struck me as being in any great danger of really being hurt or backed up at all in this fight. And obviously going into round 5, and ironically round 5 was a really good round for Frazer Clarke up until he got knocked down. He was doing some good work in that round. He was landing some good shots. And then a little lazy jab, over the jab with a right hand, lands bang on the button by Fabio Wardley. Frazer Clarke gets backed up to the ropes. Wardley is someone, when he's hurt or when he has you hurt, he will go through the gears. He will find those gears and he will go see the red mist almost, and he will go for the jugular. Whether he's hurt or whether he has you hurt, that's really Fabio Wardley. If he smells blood or he thinks that you smell blood, he's on you. He's on you like white is to rice. And that's exactly what he did to Frazer Clarke. I thought Clarke did a decent enough job of blocking some of those shots and slipping with some. They did eventually end up getting through. He went down. He wasn't badly hurt. I certainly didn't feel. I felt that was right near the end of the round. The bell went as soon as Clarke got up. I felt as that was, say, 30 seconds to go in the round, he probably would have survived. I think Wardley himself even knew, he's not out of it. He's not like, in another zone or anything like that. So, fight carries on. Round number 6 was a better round for Fabio Wardley. I think that Frazer Clarke was just was very circumspect, was kind of like, all right, let's not make any mistakes like I did in the last round. Let's make sure I get my head cleared. He won round number 6. Then he had the point deduction in round number 7. So those 3 rounds were really bad for Frazer Clarke. Even though I felt he won round 7, a point deduction means that you either would score it even or you would score it a 10-8 round for Fabio Wardley if you did give it to him. I personally thought that Clarke won that round. It was kind of after that point, round 8, where the Sky commentary team started talking about Fabio Wardley running out of steam, and he did slow down. He did definitely slow down. I think they read too much into it because, yes, Wardley had moments late on in the fight where he did look like the gas tank was emptying, but he was still able to find enough to land some combinations to nick a couple of rounds. And ironically, for me, like, the Sky commentary team were talking about, oh, Wardley looks like he's got nothing left, out of stamina, blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, Frazer Clarke looks like a breeze is going to blow him over. My guy looks like, he's a 1 litre engine and it's literally sucking on fumes now. Because he had nothing left in that tank. He really didn't. I mean, they focused on Wardley, but I was like, Clarke looks done. He looks fatigued as hell. Both guys were fatigued as hell. And that kind of made it more interesting because both guys were just looking to land big shots. And as I said, if Wardley was so fatigued, the Sky said they were, whenever Clarke landed through with some shots, he didn't seem remotely affected. When Wardley landed through with some good shots, you could tell Clarke had to really back up, hold, and make sure nothing bad happens. Those last few rounds, they were really a case of Wardley doing something near the end, but Clarke doing something for the majority of the round. So it's really a case of what do you like. Going to the 12th round, and it really did hang in the balance on that 12th round. Wardley appeared to get stunned by a right hand. I know a lot of people, Ben Shalom jumping up at ringside. Frazer Clarke, if he did hurt Fabio Wardley, which Wardley seemed to, if he was hurt, he got his senses back pretty quickly. If he did hurt Fabio Wardley, Clarke had nothing in his legs to even remotely capitalise, because as soon as that final bell went for round number 12, Frazer Clarke just slumped. You'd swear he was knocked out. I mean, he was gone. He slumped into the corner and just not even a stool out, just onto the ground. His legs were completely gone. He was spent. Great fight. Fought at a good pace. Very taxing fight for both guys. Very taxing 12 rounds for both guys. Fabio Wardley, he's going to have a hell of a sore nose tomorrow. He's probably going to have a shiner underneath his left eye as well. He is going to be feeling the effects of that. Frazer Clarke took some shots. He definitely did. He took a couple of big shots. I think Frazer Clarke's chin is not too bad. Stamina, you're going to want to work on that big time. Big time. Obviously, the fight was scored a draw. Yeah, got no real gripes with it, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have complained too much if Wardley got it. I wouldn't have complained if Frazer Clarke got it. I thought Clarke just nicked it. Just ever so slightly nicked it. Let's see it again. See it again. I've given Ben Shalom and Boxer a lot of critique, and rightly so. I think it's fair criticism. I'll always give praise where praise is due. This is one of the best main events he's put on, and it's one of the most enjoyable cards I've seen. The co-main wasn't amazing. Congo Mark, it wasn't amazing, it had its moments. Whitaker's fight was alright. Alan Babbage versus Steve Robinson was real good fun. Callum Simpson looked good. Yeah, Riley and Lawal was a bit of a stinker. But for the most part, this was a good card. I enjoyed it. So credit to Ben Shalom. I really did enjoy this card. More of the same, please. If you can do that, you're going to be on to a winner. But, let's wait and see what he does there. I mean, we know, I think Adam Azim is going to be fighting Harlem Eubank next. So, there you go. But yeah, great main event. Enjoyed it. Let's run it back. Let's see it again. Wardley Clarke too. I would, having what I've seen there, I would still make Wardley favourite. I think that both guys can improve. I don't know, I think Wardley can improve a little bit more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, how you scored it, what you thought. I thought this was effing epic. I enjoyed this. We've had a great weekend of boxing. I'll talk about it more on Review of the Week. I'm probably just going to record it. I might do a two-part, or not two-part, but I might record some this evening and finish it tomorrow. Let's wait and see. For now, I'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit that like, jab it, do whatever you got to do. Get those likes up. I'll talk to you. Peace.